So it's not working. Is it working? Hi, and welcome to Foods to Give Your Metabolism That Extra Boost. So recently, a lot of women have been asking me, because of all the stress that's been going on over the last, at least 3 months, and then all the comfort food that we kind of have maybe been engaging. I'd like to say we're kind of snack happy and stir crazy. We've probably been snacking more than we actually really wanted to, and maybe even baking and cooking more than we had been in the past. And usually when we start to do that, we start doing it with our favorite foods or maybe even those comfort foods. And so tonight I wanted to take and share with you some simple foods that you can make sure that you are including in your eating on a daily basis. Because when you do, you're going to find that it helps boost that metabolism and it'll keep it running at its best. Because it's not our fault because of everything that's been going on, and it actually isn't our fault when we start to, I want to say, reach into those old-time favorites. But I do know that the stress of everything that has been going on in the last few months has been really detrimental to people, and especially to us women, and especially to entrepreneurs, because we're balancing so many hats. And so if we can be taking and grabbing some simple foods that's going to help keep our metabolism up, it's going to, number one, give us more energy. Number two, it's also going to be able to help us maintain the weight that we want to be, or maybe now even shed a few pounds so you can fit more comfortably in the new season clothes. So let's just get started. So the very first one I want to share with you is green tea. Okay, and there's a lot of different studies behind green tea. A cup of green tea has found that it actually really will not only boost your metabolism, but it is proven that it can help you lose weight. And so I recommend for all the women that I deal with to make sure and have a cup of green tea in the afternoon. Now, of course, with it being warmer out, why not make it iced? The key with green tea is you want to just have it be, green tea. I mean, it can be like a Tazo tea that might have, some, I think mine has ginger in it, and I love that in it. And that's also good for metabolism too. But you don't want to take and put artificial sweeteners in it, because actually artificial sweeteners can kind of go against what you're trying to do. They tend to make your body think that you're going to be drinking a lot of sweets, so it elevates tells your pancreas to dump in a whole bunch of insulin. So now you have all this insulin floating around in your body, and insulin's a fat storage hormone. And yet if you're eating an artificial sweetener, there's nothing that's going to spike your blood sugar levels. So it's important I don't usually tell people what not to eat, but I do caution women that if you're thinking about using artificial sweeteners, maybe think that through. I'd rather see you using some of the real stuff, be it honey or something like that. Or if you are going to do an artificial sweetener, eat something with some protein in it, because protein then has to be digested in your stomach, and it's going to slow down that whole process. So sorry, I got just a little off track on that one, but I just do have a real thing about helping women understand the importance of maybe watching some of those artificial things that it's easy to put in our systems. Now, the other good thing that I did want to make sure and share with you about the green tea is we know that it also can be beneficial to help prevent, or at least help protect you a little bit more from breast cancer. And I think that's really important to also know. Now, the next one I want to share with you is spices. Spices are really important because they kind of heat up our body. And we want to look at things like cayenne pepper, the black ground pepper, and especially if it's freshly ground. And right now, you can always get it with a fresh grinder. Ground ginger, chili powders, all of those have been proven that they will improve your metabolism. And it's basically, it affects more people, or it may have a quicker advantage for people who aren't accustomed to always eating spicy foods. So I encourage women, go ahead and spice up your meals because it is going to help boost your metabolism. So an easy way to do it is like I scramble eggs a lot of times in the morning because they're a great protein, and we do need our protein. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But when you take and throw in something such as chalupa sauce or some sort of a hot chili sauce into the eggs, even Tabasco, some splashes of that, 3-4 dashes, it's not going to make you really feel totally like hot from the spices, but it's enough that it's going to help spark that metabolism a little bit more. So think about the different ways that you can include a little bit more of those hot type spices into your foods. And so then that brings up the next one, which is your hot peppers. And these can really heat up your metabolism, and it's because of the capsaicin, the compound that's in the spicy hot peppers, that gives them their heat. And it's going to help elevate your calorie burn long after you finish the meal. So anytime you can use some of the hot peppers in your food, right there, that's going to be sparking that metabolism. Easy to do, you don't have to do it on a daily basis, but it's a great thing to be thinking, especially now in the warmer seasons where we're thinking more of maybe the tacos, fajitas, anything like that, you can be throwing it in. Now the next one is really important and very easy to do, nuts and seeds, especially almonds. Almonds are nutritionally dense, so you have a lot of good protein in it, but they're also packed with a lot of good micronutrients. Now protein is going to be important because it's going to help keep you full longer. But also within nuts, you're going to find that they have more fiber, and that they're usually the heart-healthy monounsaturated fats. And so those are going to be really important in helping create better balance in what you're eating. And then the other good thing is think about walnuts. And you can put now nuts in all sorts of things. You can put them, say if you're eating oatmeal for breakfast, put them in your oatmeal. You're going to have more protein there. But you can use them on top of a salad. You can use them in a protein shake. You can, cook with them. There's so much you can do with nuts to just help give whatever you're making a little bit more of a boost for your metabolism. And then with the walnuts, they have a lot of the omega-3s, and so that's also really good for your heart health. And by the way, it also helps with your cognitive functioning. So really think of a lot of different ways to be able to incorporate more nuts into what you're eating and what you're doing. I even love them. I mean, they're great on salads. They're great in shakes. I really love it in my oatmeal. I won't have a bowl of oatmeal without at least having some either walnuts in it, sometimes pecans, but you can put them in so many things. Next one is your chia seeds, okay, and there again they contain a lot of omega-3 fatty acids, and so it's a great balance between the soluble fiber and the insoluble fiber. You need some of both. And the chia seeds have also been helped to really be good for balancing your blood sugar, so it keeps it more steady throughout your day, and known to boost metabolism. You can easily put your chia seeds into something like Greek yogurt, throw them on top of a salad. You can even throw them on top of some cooked vegetables. They're amazing. Now, I'm sure you've all heard of blueberries being packed full of the antioxidants. And there again, that's going to take and improve your metabolism significantly. Now, not only is that good, but blueberries have a lot of fiber in them, and we actually really need a lot of fiber, and they've been known to also help reduce inflammation. So if you're having issues with joint pain and maybe even arthritis type stuff, it's always great to be able to eat some of those foods that are known to help reduce inflammation, and blueberries is a great one. You can use the blueberries in things like, say, your smoothies, shakes, protein shakes. Whenever I make my protein shake, I always have a whole bunch of blueberries in it. You can add them just to any salad. You can take and put them in with other vegetables. Like, think about things like, if you're ever doing sweet potatoes, throw some blueberries in it. Most people are thinking apples or cranberries, but blueberries are a great thing, and it makes it really different, and you'll kind of feel a little bit unique and good about it. So there's so many different ways we can use blueberries. They're also great for an afternoon snack. Throw some blueberries into some Greek yogurt. It's really amazing what you can do with the blueberries. Now the next one you probably heard all about, because avocados are the hot fat right now. And the neat part about avocados is they also contain protein. It's probably the only fat that we have that has protein in it. And on top of that, it has the 9 amino acids that our body actually really needs, and it has the omega-3s too. So avocados are great. They really have been shown to help boost the metabolism, and they're also very good for weight loss because it has all the good fats in it. So if you don't enjoy the fatty fishes, make sure you're having plenty of the avocados, because they're basically going to do about the same type of thing. Other interesting facts about the avocados is they've been shown that they will also help reduce stress, and they can improve your skin. So I have people say, but how can I eat an avocado other than guacamole? But you can take and slice up the avocado. You can put it on top of your toast. You can just mash it. And by the way, the easiest way I like to do it is you take an avocado, you smash it, and you juice a lime into it. And depending on the size of the lime, you may only need half of the lime. Mix it together. It's amazing. It's so simple. The lime juice is going to keep it from turning brown. It's great on toast. It's great on eggs. It's great on a salad. So think about all the neat ways that you can take and use avocados in your normal eating, because they will really help that metabolism. And then there's some of the vegetables, like broccoli. Okay, broccoli is rich in calcium, and it's also rich in vitamin C. And we need both calcium and vitamin C in order to get our metabolism really wanting to burn calories. So it's going to be really good for that. I understand how you're not the only one that has had some issues with gaining a few extra pounds during the last 3 months. But the neat part is you can take and make these simple changes, and you can drop those relatively easy. Some of the people who have been following my programs and my advice have lost as many as 24 pounds during this whole 3-month stressful time. And on top of that, they had to totally pivot their business because their business just stopped the day when this whole craziness started. So it doesn't have to be difficult. And I'd really encourage you that if you've been struggling with the weight kind of creeping on, I would encourage you, don't go out and do a plain old diet. One of the ones that are, fit for everybody. One size fits all. You all count the same things, whether it's macros or whether it's points or whether it's calorie deficit or whatever. Because actually, those programs, it has been found that 25 to 30% of the weight that you lose in those programs is muscle, not fat. And when women hear that, they're shocked, because most women think that as their following a program that so many people follow, that they'll lose a little bit of water weight, but the rest is fat. But that is so not true. And that is why almost up to 95% of the people that go on those programs regain almost all, in other words, most, all, or a lot of them more than what they lost within the first 1 to 2 years. Because you just can't live with that forever. So we really need to address the issue with trying to lose weight, and the issue is we have to boost that metabolism. If we don't boost our metabolism, no matter what you're doing, it's not going to stick. Because a lowered metabolism is what is putting on the weight. And when you're going through stress, and which we all have been right now, stress is huge when it comes to women, because we can really carry that stress, and on top of it, we a lot of times try to hide the stress and still not even really deal with it. And stress affects our cortisol levels. It boosts them way high, and cortisol is a hormone that likes to store weight around your waist. So if you find that you've been gaining weight, especially in your midsection, over the last few months, it's not your fault. It's the stress that's causing those hormones to put that weight on. So I'd really encourage you to think about not worrying first about what to not eat, but instead worrying about what can I do to boost my metabolism. And simple things like broccoli are going to help. And you can use broccoli. I mean, everybody thinks, oh yeah, it's a vegetable, I'll have it with a meal. But you know what? Actually, some days, if I don't have some of the other vegetables I'm going to talk about in a minute, I'll take and chop up some. I make plantovers, so I'll make extra the night before, chop it up and put it in my eggs, because it's a great way to get a metabolic boost from my broccoli first thing in the morning. So you can use broccoli, you can use it in shakes, you can use it in your eggs, you can use it as a side, you can use it as in your salads. There's a lot of ways that you can be able to use that broccoli. So then comes spinach, and spinach is one of my favorite ones because, to be perfectly honest, I think it's one of the easiest metabolism boosting foods there is to use. The important part about spinach is it's high in iron. So it's going to help carry more oxygen to your muscles, and your muscles actually really need that oxygen. So it's important, and as women, we really need it too. And the oxygen is going to help your muscles burn more fat, and at a faster rate. So between having the oxygen and the iron, it's really important to think about, can I add some spinach every day? And it also helps protect it against other things such as osteoporosis, colon cancer, heart disease, arthritis, and some other diseases too. But spinach is so easy because you can throw it in a shake, you can throw it in your eggs, you can throw it on your salad, you can have it as a side with your vegetable or whatever. So think of all the different ways that you can throw some spinach into your life almost on a daily basis. Then we're going to talk about Greek yogurt. And you're probably sitting there and saying, why Greek yogurt? There's a lot of yogurts out there. Well, Greek yogurt is about the highest yogurt there is for protein and calcium, and your body needs both. And yes, you can get some Greek yogurts with probiotics in them, and that's great. But I would encourage you to be thinking about the Greek yogurt versus some of the more, I want to say, commercial other yogurts that are out there, because a lot of those are throwing a lot of other stuff in, and yes, they're trying to throw in the probiotics and stuff, but when you really get down to what's in them, sometimes it's not always the best. And they definitely won't have as much protein, and they usually have more sugar. So Greek yogurt is great, and it's great for stimulating metabolism. Then celery. And I love celery because celery is so underrated, and yet it's so easy to use. Now, it's packed full of fiber, has lots of water in it, and of course it's very low in calories, and it takes your body a while to digest it because of all of the fiber that's in it. So it really helps boost your metabolism just through the digestive process. It's going to really help kick that metabolism into high gear. And there again, you can use it, it's great with hummus as a snack. You can throw it on salads. You can throw it in soups. There's so many ways to think of it. It doesn't just have to mean that you just have it as the spear of celery. So next, let's talk about whole eggs. By whole eggs, I mean the whole egg, the yolk and everything. Because you need the lutein that's in the yolk. It's really good for your health. Years ago we used to think eggs were bad for you, but that's all kind of turned around. But they're also packed with vitamin D. And women, we need our vitamin D. So whole eggs are great. And our muscles really need that vitamin D because that's to help build and repair our muscles. And that's essential in boosting your metabolism. Now, what happens is if we're not strengthening, after the age of 40, women lose a half a pound of muscle a year. So between 40 and 50, that's 5 pounds of muscle. That really right there can slow down your metabolism. So eating good proteins is going to be one way to help preserve that muscle, to build and repair it. And then you need to think of all the other proteins. Because adding protein, making sure you're having enough protein with your breakfast, with your lunch, with your evening meal, and I encourage women anytime that you are eating. So if you're having a snack, make sure it has some protein. And they're like, well, wait a minute, how can I do that? Well, you have to remember that you can have some nuts. So like when I eat my dark chocolate, and I have dark chocolate every night. That's my dessert for my meal. So I'm having it with my meal. I've already had a whole bunch of protein. So it isn't quite as important right then to make sure it has nuts in it. But if I were to have it, say, middle of the afternoon, I'd make sure it had almonds or cashews or walnuts or something like that with it, because it's all about creating that balance. You want to make sure that when you're putting something into your body that you can balance. You want some protein, you want a little carbs, you want it to taste good, create that balance, and you can be eating those good chocolates or whatever and feel great, still lose the weight, and do it guilt-free. Now I also want to show this because of the salmon. Because I've been working with women for so many years, I know that if I can get a woman eating salmon at least once, if not twice a week, she will lose weight, more fat weight. And I'm talking because we usually measure body fats. She will lose more fat weight than a person that's not. It is so important that when we're eating on a weekly basis, that we're incorporating some of those really good proteins, such as salmon, because it really will help. And then last but not least is water. And you're saying, well, wait, water isn't a food. Well, water is something that we do take and drink. So it's really important that we're drinking our water. I can't say enough about it. Our body is basically a fluid body. We need lots of water. But as women, we've never really been taught to drink a lot of water. And yes, we're told, oh, you need 64 ounces a day. Well, if you're 128 pounds, that's probably enough. But unfortunately, most of the women that I work with weigh more than 128 pounds. So they need more than 64 ounces a day. So if you're not sure how much water you really need, let me know. I'll help you figure it out. It's really pretty easy. For every 2 pounds you weigh, you need 1 ounce. So take your weight, divide it by 2. So if you weigh 150, you divide it by 2, you need 75 ounces. It doesn't need to be complicated, but it is important because our body, if we're even a little bit hydrated, it will automatically slow our metabolism down no matter what we're doing, because our bodies are meant to keep us alive. So the very first thing I tell women when you're trying to boost your metabolism, I left it to the end because I wanted to make sure you got it, is to drink more water. Start your day with water. Have a cup of water first thing when you get up in the morning. And you're saying, no, I want my coffee or I want my tea. No, I'm serious. Water first, then have your cup of coffee or tea a little bit later. Yes, you need the caffeine. The caffeine's fine. I'm not against coffee or tea. I'm a coffee drinker. I make my latte using almond milk and my coffee through my Ninja coffee machine. I love it. But I will also tell you that the first thing in the morning, I drink a cup of water, because once you start doing it, you're going to be amazed at how within a few days you're going to be craving that water when you get up, because your body really needs it. The more we can start hydrating our body first thing in the morning, you're going to keep it running more efficiently throughout your whole day. So I am so glad you joined me this evening. I put a link in it. I have a handout. I think it's about 6 pages of 3 simple steps to keep your metabolism running at its best. I think it's 3 simple steps to kickstart your metabolism. Now, I didn't go into quite as much with the foods. I went into more with the steps. I would highly encourage you to click on the link and sign up for it. You will really find that it can be easy. You have to be able to get that metabolism boosted up in order to be able to start shedding those pounds. Because of everything we've been through lately, we really need to be able to get that metabolism going so that weight can be coming down, and you will find you have so much more energy than what you have. And by the way, forgot to tell you that when you start drinking more water, you actually will have clearer thought. So make sure you're drinking your water. Does anybody have any questions? I see a lot of comments over here. So if you have any questions, I'm Cathy Frost. I'm the founder of Forget Diets Forever and Eat, Lose, and Live pages, and I also have the Energized and Happy Gals private Facebook page. I put that link in here too. We'd love to have you join us. I'm sharing tips about 5 times a week, Monday through Friday, and there are lots of tips in there to help get your metabolism running at its best. Have a great night, ladies. See you next week. Bye-bye.